Topicals is one of the best examples of what happens when a brand gets community right, but then has to figure out what comes next. It shows that community can build momentum fast, but if the brand wants to scale beyond that original energy, it has to move from people love us to the system can carry us. What made Topicals powerful from the start was not just the product, right? It was the combination of cultural relevance, strong storytelling, and a community layer that made people want to participate, not just buy. That's why this case study is so useful for Black beauty founders. It proves that community is a growth engine, but it also reveals the limits of community when the brand wants more scale, more channels, and more repeatability. Topicals looked like a brand built for the internet age, right? Strong founder energy, sharp identity, social buzz, and a community that actively wanted to engage. They didn't just collect customers. Actually, they built a participation loop through ambassadors, like challenges, rewards, and content. That's the dream for many founders, a brand that feels alive because the community is doing part of the marketing work for you. But the deeper lesson is that a community system is not the same thing as a scale system. Topicals had to move beyond spreadsheets, manual management and founder heavy coordination to make the ambassador engine actually work at scale. And once the brand started growing beyond its initial audience, it also had to think about different proof, different channels, and different audiences with different expectations. That's where many brands get stuck. They build a brand that is amazing for people already inside the room, but they don't yet have a clear translation architecture for people outside it. So if your brand is still strongest with the people who already know you, well, that is not a bad thing, but it is not enough if you want to scale. And you need to know what stays secret for the core community, what gets translated for colder audiences, and what proof each segment needs before it buys. Topicals also shows that community management can become operationally heavy very, very quickly. So when a brand grows, the real challenge is not just engagement, but whether the team can keep the community feeling alive without the founder manually carrying every single move. Now, the real lesson here is that Topicals is a great example of why community is powerful but not sufficient on its own, right? A strong community can create, traction, social proof, and early demand, but the brand still needs a go-to-market system that can travel beyond that community without losing momentum. And that is exactly why my work matters. I'm not helping founders do more community. I'm helping them build a system where community becomes one part of growth, not the whole growth engine. If your brand is strong with your core audience but still feels manual, fragile, or founder-led every time it expands, the next thing for you is to build not more content, but a decision system that helps the brand grow beyond the crowd that already loves it.